Ready? Call the meeting to order, call the roll.
Mr. Broderick?
Here.
Mr. Cox?
Here.
Mr. Crumpton?
Here.
Ms. Fiding?
Here.
Mr. Kella?
Here.
Mr. Orlando?
Here.
Mr. Roosevelt?
Here.
Mr. Strong?
Here.
Mr. Chair, the third item on the agenda is the approval of the November 15th, 2018 Plan Commission minutes.
I make a motion to approve them.
Second. Call the roll.
Mr. Cox?
Aye.
Mr. Crumpton?
Aye.
Ms. Fiding?
Aye.
Mr. Kella?
Aye.
Mr. Orlando?
Aye.
Mr. Roosevelt?
Aye.
Mr. Broderick?
Aye.
Mr. Strong?
Aye.
Section 4 of the agenda is citizens to be heard on agenda items. This is a section for anyone wanting to speak regarding items that are listed on the agenda, except for those items already listed as a public hearing. Anyone speaking on an agenda item is entitled to speak for a maximum of 4 minutes. It's not a question and answer period, and staff and the Plan Commission do not generally respond to public comments. Is there anyone here wishing to speak under citizens to be heard? Seeing none. Section 5 of the agenda, old business, public hearing, there are no items. Section 6, old business, no public hearing, there are no items. Section 7, new business, public hearing. This is case number V8-18, vacation of a 14-foot by 99-foot portion and a 7 by 66 portion of an unimproved alley located adjacent to 1209 Edge Hill Avenue. Is the petitioner here? Okay, so I'll summarize the staff report, and then you're welcome to kind of add anything to that. The request under site history, again, this is, the applicant is Alma Montero. The status of the applicant is the adjacent property owner to the alley. Requested action is vacation of that unimproved alley, and this is to allow an expansion of private property. Easement is, again, 14 by 99 and 7 by 66. It's an L shape. The surrounding zoning is all other residential to the north, south, and east, and to the west is I-2 General Industrial, and that's the State of Illinois Corrections property. To give some history, the property is located in the Fairmont Park subdivision, annexed to the city in 1954, and the adjacent property at 1209 Edge Hill contains a single-family home built around 1910 with a detached garage. The petitioner, the owner of 1209 Edge Hill, requests to vacate the alley to the adjacent to the south and west of her property in order to expand the property for private use. According to the petitioner, she has been maintaining the alley of the property for the past 11 years. The alley does not provide a driveway access to any other properties. The south-facing garage at 1209 Edge Hill Avenue is positioned near the south property line, such that driveway access from the alleyway would not be feasible. And the petitioner currently gains access to the garage through the property at 809 Woodruff Road. AT&T has responded with location of their buried utilities, which are not located in the alley. As of the writing of the staff report, there's been no response from any other utility company, and there are overhead utility lines along Edge Hill Avenue across the street. The Public Works Department and Public Utilities Department are not opposed to the alley vacation. That concludes staff's report.
Thank you. Can we have the petitioner on this item, please? Please state your name for the record.
My name is Alma Montero.
Thank you. Do you have anything to add to staff's report?
Yeah.
Are there any comments or questions from the commission?
Yes, I have a couple. Who owns the property to the south? Do you own that also, where you drive through?
I'm not good with north-south, so
Well,
to the south
where
would
the
be,
driveway goes down to Woodruff.
the driveway goes where, I'm
Your
sorry?
driveway that, from the garage to Woodruff,
That is owned, I believe, by Townhouse Properties.
and they give you access across there?
Correct,
Okay.
yes.
And this is for Michael, have they requested half that alley, or they sign off as the alley as the adjoining owner?
They have not requested that. What my understanding is, the property owner achieves access to her property through essentially an unofficial easement. It's they have an agreement. It's not a legal
Well, I'm talking
recorded
about
easement.
the vacation, because, they're entitled to half unless they sign off on it.
What I
Part of the
Oh.
application has the
the
signature.
planner who has processed the case and has indicated to me that they actually did sign off. So we
Okay,
have a
good.
signature
Okay.
here. I think it's on page 3 of be right after the plat of vacation. It's one of the attachments.
All right, thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the commission? Any comments or questions from the audience? Hearing none, then a motion is in order for V-8-18.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Call the roll.
Mr. Crompton?
Aye.
Ms. Fighting?
Aye.
Mr. Kella?
Aye.
Mr. Orlando?
Aye.
Mr. Roosevelt?
Aye.
Mr. Broderick?
Aye.
Mr. Cox?
Aye.
Mr. Strong?
Aye.
The next item on the agenda, Mr. Chair, is subject A-23-18. That is a annexation of 52.1 acres located at 620 Sandal Place and 800 Richard Street. Request for classification to I-1 light industrial zoning and approval of an annexation agreement. The VM Land LLC and First Midwest Bank / Joliet as trustee under trust number 4920 is the applicant and owner. The purpose of the request is to expand and continue operations of the existing clean construction / demolition debris business within the city. PIN numbers and address are as noted, 52.10 acres. The existing land use is a flagstone quarry and clean construction and demolition debris site, or what they call a CCDD. To the north is unincorporated Will County, used for residential, and Interstate 80. To the south is RB, restricted business, and that's the Will County Health Department. To the east is unincorporated Will County, and that's undeveloped land along the railroad tracks. And to the west is I-1 light industrial and R2 single-family residential and unincorporated Will County, and that's a mix of residential and light industrial. There is no site history because this is a county property. Under special information, the applicant is requesting, the applicant operating as PT Faro requests the annexation of 6 parcels of land in the area north of 800 Richard Street and east of 620 Sandal Road. These parcels have been associated with the stone quarrying industry since the late 1880s, and as a railroad spur formerly ran through the subject area. Bromberrick Flagstone still maintains the flagstone quarry on the two northern parcels in the subject area. PT Faro has utilized the parcel with frontage on Richard Street for disposal of a clean construction and demolition debris operation from their company operations for over 30 years. The approval of the annexation agreement, and zoning classification will allow PT Faro to continue and expand their clean operation within the city limits instead of unincorporated Will County. The proposed I-1 zoning request is consistent with the surrounding land uses as shown on the attached aerial map and is consistent with the area's historic industrial use. PT Faro has a lease agreement with Bromberrick Flagstone to allow continued flagstone quarrying for 5 additional years. The flagstone operation takes place in the 2 most northern parcels subject to the request, and these 2 parcels include a trailer used as an office and a camper that is used seasonally by the on-site operator. PT Faro intends to utilize the quarry area for their operations when the flagstone operation ceases. PT Faro may continue aggregate mining for company use, which would include rock crushing. When Bromberrick's operations cease, PT Faro will close off the northern access to the site with an earthen berm. Access to the parcels subject to this annexation agreement will be through the existing entrance at 800 Richard Street. PT Faro will be responsible for keeping the roadway leading to the entrance clean. PT Faro will also be responsible for ensuring proper drainage at the site and neighboring properties as the company continues to fill the site. These details, including the allowance of aggregate mining, rock crushing, and outdoor industrial processing, will be further defined in the annexation agreement. Will County will continue to monitor the disposal of the clean construction, demolition debris, and clean soil fill operations. PT Faro currently has the state IEPA permit required for these operations. Conditions related to these operations can be found in the attached list of conditions. The company intends to use the site for the disposal of only their debris and will not open the site to the public. City water and sewer are available along Richard Street. The properties will be required to connect to city and water and sewer should building development occur. At that time, the property owner is financially responsible for bringing water and sewer to the properties, connecting the properties to the water and sewer lines, and paying tap-on fees. The property owner will also be subject to the city's development impact fee and these details will be further defined as part of the annexation agreement. The detachment fee for the East Joliet Fire Protection District has been paid in the amount of $4,722.25. The property is not in a library district, and therefore detachment fees are not required. P.T. Farrell, along with their attorney, Michael Hansen, held a neighborhood meeting on Tuesday, December 11th of this year to answer any questions and address concerns from residents who live within 600 feet of the properties. The meeting was held at the Stone City Post VFW, and it lasted approximately 1 hour. There were 23 people in attendance. Should the Plan Commission recommend approval of the proposed annexation and reclassification to I-1 Light Industrial, some or all of the attached conditions may be included in the pending agreement, annexation agreement. The attached list was provided by the Will County Land Use Department, Resource Recovery and Energy Division as an example of the conditions Will County has attached to special use permits for clean construction and demolition debris operations. And that concludes staff's report.
Thank you. Can we have the petitioner on this side? This case.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, Michael Hansen, attorney representing the petitioner. We're here for any questions that the Plan Commission or others may have.
One quick question. Mike, they're currently using the property through the county for the same purposes they wish
Correct.
to annex into the
Well, the
city?
20 acres, yes, okay?
Yes.
And then the 32 acres, in part with the Bromberg flagstone operation, and then we have applied for a clean fill permit with the state where we will insert clean fill and/or continue the coring process, so.
Okay, thank you. That concludes my questions. Any other comments or questions from the commission?
Yes, I have a couple. Mr. Hanson, what zone is there now? What zoning?
It's a combination of zoning, Mr. Orlando, with the county. There's a little A1, a little B, a little I1, et cetera, so kind of a mishmash.
Oh, where the tree area is, that's all?
Well, the 32 acres, if you will.
Okay. So they want to make it all into
All
light
I1.
industrial,
Yeah,
all
light
one?
industrial, correct.
Okay, and why do they want to annex into the city?
Well-
Any special reason?
The reason is, P.T. Farrell, we're a local company. We like working with the city. We think working with the city staff is going to be advantageous. We're going to still have the county requirements on the property as far as the oversight is concerned, because the county has, as it gets involved in that type of business. Quite frankly, the fees are less to annex to the city than they are to get this property entitled in the county. So those are and we just feel that for our future with what's going on, that it's better to be in the, under the umbrella of the city than the county.
Okay. Another thing I want to mention is they have a special use permit, and it says that the county, through the sheriff's department, they kind of oversee all the IEPA things.
That's on the clean fill, the CCDD site, the bottom site there, the clean fill. Yeah, that's all in the process right now. That's been going on for the last 20 years. So
Okay.
that will continue.
Okay, and another thing also, they said something about there might be future building development.
Frankly, I don't anticipate any real future building at all on this site. So,
That's going to be closer to the Richard Street area?
no.
No?
I mean, frankly, I don't think there's any plans right now for any buildings whatsoever on this 52-acre site, to be honest.
Okay. Okay. Is there a rock crushing operation going on there now too, besides just quarrying? Do
Well,
they,
yeah, he has a little bit of rock, a little bit of that right now.
Ron Barrick does that.
Right.
He does everything right now. And-
Well, not everything. It's a very low-key type of site where it's just flagstone taking that off the surface of the property.
Okay. Okay, that's about all I have.
I have a question. I think you said, Mike, that this will not be open to public
Correct.
use. It will just be for the owner of the property.
Correct, yeah. P.T. Farrell uses it right now for its own, the 20 acres for its own construction sites, et cetera.
Right.
The back acres is just for P.T. Farrell, correct.
Okay. And then outdoor industrial processing, I don't know what that means. Is this for
I don't know what
crushing
that
of
means either,
stone?
exactly.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of what will take place in the future of outdoor industrial processing.
I think that's a term that's used in the zoning ordinance. We're a light industrial use,
Sure.
which we intend to do a clean fill site on the north, but we do want to have the option then of continuing the Bromberg flagstone above-ground quarrying, you know, in the future, so.
Right, I was just trying to get a sense, Mr. Hanson, about sound, noise, equipment.
Well, there's not going to be any, essentially any, you know, certainly have a little bit of equipment when you have a quarrying use, but there's no mining, there's no blasting, you know, things
That's what I
like
was trying to
that.
get a sense
Yeah.
for. Okay.
So just to clarify, again, the planner most familiar with this case indicated that outdoor industrial processing would include separating the aggregate into different sized piles, trucking it away, screening it possibly. So any kind of outdoor activity involving that material.
Well, it's kind of related then to the quarrying use, if you
Yeah.
will. Yeah, so.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the commission?
I have one more, just thought of one. Since the city will take it over, are they, are we staffed enough to handle a special use permit in case there's any, with the state? I mean, yeah, with the Illinois EPA? Are we going to monitor that, or is it still going to be just the county?
I
to
believe
monitor?
it's the intent that the county is going to do that. We're paying the county right now, and the county is staffed to do that. And that's what I think the city has done with other similar properties. So we intend to still utilize that.
Okay, so even though it's annexed into the
Correct.
city, we won't have any,
The city will work with the county will let the city know, but they have the personnel and the
Okay.
knowledge and experience to oversee that.
okay,
And it really, just to clarify, it depends on the nature of the complaint. So, you know, if it's something that involves the oversight, we would work closely with the county. If it's something that
Okay.
is something, well, we have staff here as well, but, you know, it depends what the nature of the complaint is.
okay. That's
Any
it.
other comments or questions from the commission? Any comments or questions from the audience? Hearing none, a motion is in order for,
Oop, Joe.
oh,
Yes, sir. My name is James Austin. I live at 215 Doris Avenue here in Joliet. And I feel that this should not even be what's going on with this quarry thing and everything. You know, when it came about, I've been here 42 years or more. And they're talking about that P.T. Farrell them will clean up the debris and stuff that's on the road and stuff. Well, there's been debris on the roads and stuff, and they never cleaned it up. And the thing about it, you don't look at what the people have to deal with that's living in that area. You know, you getting more trucks and everything in there. And by God, I hope the city don't annex them into this here. This here plus this stuff that they have here, you're dumping stuff on the east side, and it don't make any sense. And I plead with you, we don't need this. You know, the east side is the things that the east side need is stores and stuff like that, and we don't have that. Why should we have to have stuff like garbage and stuff being dumped on our area? And that's not fair. I mean, we pay taxes too, just like everybody else, and we shouldn't have to have this stuff here that they're coming up. And if they want to have a quarry or whatever else they want to have to deal, put it somewhere else. That's what I say, sir. And we have dealt with the quarries over here on 53, blasting and everything else. And they're telling us that, well, there won't be any blasting. Well, we don't know that. They can tell you anything. And that's why I say, don't let this go. I don't want it to go. And I think a lot of the neighbors that's in that area, they don't want to have all these trucks coming in and out. We have enough trucks coming. Even because we have trucks that come up in our neighborhood and you got signs that say, no trucks. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to come up anyway, which they do anyway. And I have to stop out there sometimes and tell them, hey, what are you doing coming up in this area? You got a sign that says no trucks, and it's an ordinance. But I'm telling you, they ain't gonna clean up nothing. I've been here 40-some years, and like I say, that street there on Richard Street, you come through there, it looks like a mess at times when them P.T. Farrell trucks come out of there. And I ask you, think about it. You know, we're people. And everything with this industry stuff, we don't need all that stuff. Bring something in here that the people need. And that's not what we need. We don't need any quarry. We don't need no P.T. Farrell and stuff of junk coming up and down the roads and everything, coming through your neighborhood, the debris on the streets and stuff. you could have accidents and stuff like that. Oh, yeah, we're gonna clean it, we'll clean it up. Well, I tell you what, they haven't cleaned it up. And I appreciate you letting me come up here and talk about it, but I'm saying that we don't need it. We don't need this stuff. And I hope the city don't annex it. And I'll be there at that meeting too, sir.
I appreciate that.
So thank you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you.
Any other comments or questions?
My name is Louise Watts, and I live at 319 Oscar Avenue. I'd say about 20 years ago, when P.T. Farrow initially purchased that quarry area, that was a wetland. We got involved with the Army Corps of Engineers. Suddenly, they changed all the rules, and P.T. Farrow filled in that quarry. There is asphalt in that quarry. Now he's wanting to get the other end of that area, and he's gonna do the same thing. Asphalt is gonna go in there. We can't even open a window on a nice day because of all the dust and the debris over there. The air quality is terrible. You can wash your car and park it in your driveway, and within, I'd say, an hour or two, your car looks like it hasn't even been washed at all. It's terrible. The noise of those trucks coming in there, they don't come over, they don't wet the surface to cut down on the dust. And it's awful. Plus, we have the trucks coming in on Colburn to get the stone from back there in the quarry. The noise and the air quality is terrible. And I'm asking the city not to allow them to annex, because the county hasn't done too much. Nobody's monitoring that area. We haven't seen anybody from the county over there in the last 20, 25 years. They don't come, they don't monitor the air, they don't monitor the noise, anything. We already have one neighbor closest to that area where he's gonna be dumping. His property is already flooding. Every time we get not even a strong rain, his property floods like crazy. He's got to get a pump to pump the water out to keep it from getting up onto his property where his home is. We don't want P.T. Farrow over there. It's been trouble ever since he purchased that quarry. It's not a benefit to those of us that live over there, and we don't want him over there. He only won because he's got money and we don't. And money talks in this city and in this county. So we're asking you to vote no.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from the audience? Any other comments?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, if I can make a couple remarks from the comments of the citizens. First of all, we certainly respect the rights of the people, especially living there, to come up and express their feelings to the commission, as they did at our neighborhood meeting. I think what we got an answer to a couple of their questions. Number one, we have a company here that's been in business in Joliet area for like 70 years. It's third generation right now. Everybody here on the Plan Commission knows of the reputation, the character, and what P.T. Farrow has done for this community, and the fact that when they say something, they do it. I'm sure that that not every single time that there's been mud on the road or some air that is not the cleanest, that they can't take care of every single situation. But, you know, Mr. Marchetti here, who is now the president of P.T. Farrow, you know, has committed personally, as he did in the meeting, to make sure that these situations are taken care of. In addition, they're going to have the city of Joliet as a backstop now. They can call the city. If there are issues, that's part of the plan. That's part of the plan included in the conditions, that they take care of any of these problems that occur on the property. With respect to a couple of other comments, there will be no asphalt that will be placed in the northern part of the property that we just purchased. That's going to be a clean fill site. That's just dirt going in there. I think that as far as the other trucks that are going on Coburn Avenue, those are not our trucks. The entrance for our property is off Richard Street. Those may be some trucks that are going to the Flagstone operation. So this is all something that's been going on for well over 50 years, so.
Mr. Hanson, the original use of this property was a quarry,
Yes, it was.
so
It's being filled up right now.
limited on what it can be used for now.
Yes, it is.
Really has to be filled
Correct.
up before anything can happen.
And that's what we're doing. That's exactly what we're doing.
Very good. Any other comments or questions from the commission? Hearing none, a motion's in order for A-23-18.
So move.
Second.
Call the roll.
Ms. Fiding?
Aye.
Mr. Kella?
Aye.
Mr. Orlando?
Aye.
Mr. Roosevelt?
Aye.
Mr. Broderick?
No.
Mr. Cox?
Aye.
Mr. Crompton?
Aye.
Mr. Strawn?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, the next item on the agenda is case number Z-12-18. It is a reclassification, and this actually is a series of 3 related cases. Z-12-18 is a reclassification of 19.892 acres located at 4001 Brandon Road from the ITB, which is Intermodal Terminal Transportation Equipment, to ITC, which is Intermodal Terminal Industrial Park zoning. Centerpoint Joliet Terminal Railroad LLC is the applicant and owner, and this is to reclassify the parcels for future uses. Location is north and south of Millsdale Road and west of Brandon Road. The existing land use is industrial, and the zoning to the north, south, east, and west is all industrial, zoned I-T. Under site history, Centerpoint Intermodal Center has petitioned for many requests that have been heard and approved by the Plan Commission and Mayor and City Council for their ever-expanding and developing intermodal industrial development. The majority of the property, which is intermodal rail yard, was annexed and zoned IT and approved with the annexation agreement as part of Phase 1 in December of 2008. Phase 2, which included all of Centerpoint Holdings, was approved in March of 2010. Under special information, the petitioner is requesting approval for the reclassifications to the IT subcategories in order to correctly zone the subject parcels for their future land uses. The underlying zoning for the 3 parcels in question will remain I-T Intermodal Terminal. As part of the original annexation agreement and concept plan, the IT district was assigned 4 subcategories as described below. Category A would be intermodal terminal. Category B is transportation equipment. Category C is industrial park. Category D is transitional. As per this request, 44.16 acres will be recategorized from B to C, and 38.334 acres will be recategorized from C to B. The difference from the original approved annexation agreement and concept plan will be a gain in Category C of 5.83 acres. The additional acreage to the Category C area will allow the future development of the subject parcels with warehousing and distribution construction. The additional acreage to the Category D area will allow transportation-oriented construction, such as truck parking or container storage. Please find the attached hereto the 3 map exhibits and 2 plats of zoning for further clarification. The approval of the zoning reclassifications to these subcategories will correctly zone the 3 parcels in question for their proposed future uses. Staff recommends approval of the request. And again, this case involves 3 different petitions. Z-12-18, which is the rezoning from ITB to ITC. Z-13-18, which is the rezoning from ITC to ITB. And Z-14-18, which is the reclassification from ITB to ITC. That concludes staff's report.
Thank you. Could we have the petitioner on this item, please?
Good afternoon again, Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission. Michael Hanson on behalf of Centerpoint Properties. I believe that the summary of the comments from the staff is appropriate. If you have any questions.
Just shifting around
Shifting around zoning, et cetera, to take care of what we're doing it now.
fairly close to the middle of the industrial park,
Exactly. Yep.
so, more
As the
trailers
report
parked in.
indicates, there's more land available for development, so.
Very good. Any other comments or questions from the commission? Any comments or questions from the audience? Hearing none, then a motion's in order for Z-12-18, Z-13-18, and Z-14-18.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Mr. Kella?
Aye.
Mr. Orlando?
Aye.
Mr. Roosevelt?
Aye.
Mr. Broderick?
Aye.
Mr. Cox?
Aye.
Mr. Crompton?
Aye.
Ms. Fidey?
Aye.
Mr. Strawn?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, the next item on
Thank
the...
you very much. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Mr. Chair, the next section of the agenda, or next item on the agenda, item 7D, is two petitions, P-13-18, a revised preliminary plat of Liberty Meadows Estates Planned Unit Development, and FP-9-18, the final plat of Liberty Meadow Estates Planned Unit Development, Unit 3. This application, an owner is the Housing Authority of Joliet, Michael Simulton. The requested action is the approval of both the revised preliminary PUD plat and the final PUD plat of Unit 3. And the purpose is to allow continued development of the Liberty Meadows subdivision located at the southwest corner of Briggs and Roslyn Streets. There's a total of 63.9 acres in the preliminary approval. That would include 109 single-family lots, 29 duplex lots, 1 training lot, and 7 outlots. And the final plat would include 17.82 acres, including 21 single-family lots, 8 duplex lots, 1 training lot, and 1 outlot. The existing zoning is R2, single-family residential, and R4, multifamily residential, developed as a planned unit development. Surrounding zoning is to the north, single-family and agriculture, unincorporated Will County. To the south is the Will County Forest Preserve and single-family, zoned R2, and unincorporated Will County. To the east is single-family and duplexes, zoned R2 PUD and R4 PUD, as well as Will County Forest Preserve and unincorporated Will County. To the west is Joliet Park District property. There is a church and single-family, and that area is zoned R-2. Under site history, in March of 2006, the City Council approved a development agreement with the Joliet Housing Authority to provide home funds for redevelopment at the subject property. A preliminary plat for the site was approved in September 2006, and a revised Amendment 1 preliminary plat of the site was approved in December of 2008. The final plat of Unit 1 was approved in March of 2007. A final plat of Unit 2 was approved in January 2009, and Unit 3 was approved in September 2010, but was not recorded and has since lapsed. Under special information, the petitioner is requesting approval of a second revised, what we're calling Amendment 2, preliminary plat and the final plat of Unit 3 in order to allow the continued development of a mixed-use residential subdivision known as Liberty Meadow Estates. The revised PUD is needed to accommodate changes to the road layout, which were made to eliminate a loop road in Unit 3 in favor of a main and secondary cul-de-sac design. In addition to this change, the preliminary plat has lapsed since there has been no activity with the further subdivision in over 8 years. Unit 3 includes 21 single-family lots, 8 duplex lots, 16 total units. In addition, Lot 139 is slated for a training and educational center. A landscape plan, building elevations, and floor plans are attached. All single-family residences and duplex models are designed to meet the minimum brick and anti-monotony requirements. Corner lot duplex structures will feature side-loaded garages. A strict set of covenants will be administered by the homeowners association for the subdivision. As a condition of the plat approval, city staff will administratively review and approve all house plans. The plat conforms to the subdivision regulations as reviewed by the Planning Division and Public Works and Utilities Departments. The site is subject to the sewer and water tap-on fees, the development impact fee, and the Joliet Township 86 and 204 school contribution fee. The approval of a revised preliminary plat and the final plat for Unit 3 will allow the continued development of the Liberty Meadows subdivision, and that concludes staff's report.
Thank you. Could we have the petitioner on this item, please?
Good afternoon. Tom Carroll with Geotech on behalf of the Housing Authority, and we also have John Chow with the Housing Authority.
Anything to add to staff's report?
No, pretty thorough, so we answer any questions.
Any comments or questions from the commission?
Yes, I have a couple. The property that you're going to develop now, that's going to, is that already city property?
Yes.
It is already city property?
Yes, it is city property.
Belong to the city, okay. And are the same basic plans going to be on, the home plans, are they going to be the same as in Phase 1 and Phase 2? You can have this,
It'll be a slight variation of what we built recently at Water's Edge. This is a 42-unit senior housing development, different from what we built Phase 1 and Phase 2, which is more family units.
Well, I was talking about the plans, the home plans that are there now, the homes that are there now, are they gonna be about the same as
Yeah, it'll be a slightly different. I think the units 1 and unit 2 were geared more towards families, single-family homes. Unit 3 is going to be geared towards more senior living. So it's
He's
going
talking about the actual, like, you know, when we adjust subdivisions, we try to make sure it's the same type of housing, but in this case, because the plat expired, you actually have to adhere to the newer standards, correct?
Right, so we'll meet the city standards, correct. But the
Okay.
style of home will be a little different. There'll be a mix of more, one-bedroom homes, some two-bedroom homes, but geared towards the senior community.
It looks like duplexes, you're gonna have duplexes in
There
it?
will be eight duplexes, and there was originally duplexes with the original development.
Okay, and then they have I've seen one picture, they had looks like a story and a half house. The bottom floor plan, things like 1,300.
Yeah, there's a mixture of, there's approximately 4 two-story homes in there, and then 13 single-family, single-story homes.
Okay, and are all these homes gonna be on slabs or crawl spaces? Or
They'll be on slabs.
everything will be a slab?
They'll be slab, and they'll be accessible, handicap accessible homes.
Okay, that's the same as the Phase 1 and Phase 2, they were all slabs also?
Yes.
Were they? Okay. And I was going to ask you, how many homes are going to be per acre? Does the city have a requirement on how many homes are per acre, or do they go by square footage of the house?
Yeah, the density calculation is usually dwelling units per acre. For unit 3, it is, let me see here. Yeah, for unit 3, it's 2 units per acre, so it's pretty low density.
Okay. I just did a rough adding up over here. It says 21 single-family lots, 8 duplex lots, and 1 training lot and an outlet. So the outlet and the training lot, they're going to be the same size as everything else? Or they're going to be a little different?
No, the training lot and the outlet will be different size than the rest of.
What's that going to be, the training lot and the outlet? What's that entitled?
Yeah, the training lot, I don't know if there's an aerial or a copy of the final plat. The training lot is lot 139, which will be on the south side of Freedom Boulevard. You're coming west on Freedom Boulevard as it turns to the north. That
Okay.
lot 139 is at the south side of that. And then the outlot is well, there's actually 2 outlots. Outlot C is relatively large, and that's a stormwater detention facility. And then outlot B is the existing little ravine that runs through the property. And
Okay.
that's being maintained as
Yeah, I
open.
saw that ravine.
That's being maintained as open space in outlot C.
Okay, so taking away the outlet and the training lot, we have 29 lots? So 29 into 17 acres, I figured out it's about a half an acre a unit, be about a half an acre, comes out to like 5.25 or something like that.
Okay.
Is that about right? Is that what the city allows?
Yeah,
A
this is,
half an acre for each home?
this is a planned unit development, so you have the flexibility of, density, but this is pretty consistent. It's a fairly low density, as was indicated.
Okay. Okay, and then the tap-on fees, is the tap-on fee the same for the housing authority as it is for a private developer?
As far as I'm aware, I don't think they have a,
Do you know what the tap-on fee is?
yeah, it's like roughly $6,000 a house. So
Per unit.
Per unit,
Is that what a private developer pays also? 6,000? I'm not sure, but
Yes.
yes.
it's about $6,000 for each tap-on. Okay, and another thing I have here too, there's 3 different floor plans. You have a deluxe floor plan, And then a corner duplex, basic. And these will all be the face of the homes will all be basically the same, and just the floor plan will just be different as for the
Yeah, I
square
think
footage.
I think the elevations on each homes are a little different. I think there's varying elevations.
Okay. Okay, so you'll have 21 single-family lots and 8 duplex, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, that's about all I have.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from the commission? Any comments or questions from the audience? I'd like to commend the Housing Authority for continuing to provide excellent and quality housing for our residents. And I ask for a motion for approval for P-13-18 and FP-9-18.
So moved.
Second?
Call the roll.
Mr. Orlando?
Aye.
Mr. Roosevelt?
Aye.
Mr. Broderick?
Aye.
Mr. Cox?
Aye.
Mr. Crompton?
Aye.
Ms. Fiding?
Aye.
Mr. Kella?
Aye.
Mr. Strong?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, next section 8 on the agenda, new business, no public hearing. We have no items. And there is no study session this evening under 9. We also have no old or new business, not for final action. And brings us to section 11, public comments. That's a section for anyone wanting to speak regarding non-agenda items, and there is a maximum of 4 minutes. Seeing none, the
I would
last
actually like
item
to say one
is
thing
to
before
adjourn.
we adjourn. I'd like to thank the city and staff for the opportunity to serve on the Plan Commission, but at the end of the month here, I'll be resigning. We moved, so I want to thank everybody for the opportunity and wish you all the best.
Thank
We'll
you,
miss
and
you.
Thank you,
happy
Joe.
holidays, and we'll miss you as well.
And now motion for adjournment's in order.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.